Sure, we're live again. This is the second time today. So many wins to share. I'm waiting till the line goes all the way across. Okay, we're good. We are live. Let me push record. All right, welcome back to celebrate another one of my amazing athletes. I'm so proud of Roberto. He has been with me for the last 3 months, and the amount of improvement across the board on your swim, your bike, and your run to me is very, very impressive. But you did, I think, hit every single workout, like in your training peaks. I honestly, I would say 95% of your training peaks was hit, right? And we did all your evaluations. So we did have that one-on-one time initially. And I do think that helped. But let's hear about the journey. So first, introduce yourself. Who are you and your age and what you do for a living?
Cool, yeah. So thank you for having me, Erinne. I'm Roberto. I'm 43 years old. I'm a software engineer. I work at Microsoft on cybersecurity.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm very new to triathlon.
So what got you started in triathlon?
So I actually wanted to start doing some exercise, and I decided to try cycling.
Okay.
So I got a bike. I started cycling early last year, and after like a year cycling, maybe I don't remember exactly, but at some point I figured that I like that a lot. I'm riding every day, and I'm doing long rides on the weekend. And there was one day that I ride like 100 kilometers or a little bit more.
Right.
And my dad told me, "Oh, that's like a triathlon." And I said, "A triathlon? What is that?" Like, and I go and find the
Oh,
distance.
you didn't know what a triathlon was.
I mean, I did know. I have no idea about distances.
Okay, got it.
So and I figure, hey, I did even more than an Olympic triathlon. Like, of course, I'm only cycling, but
Right.
that sounds like interesting. But
Right.
then I did nothing. And then after several months, I got invited into a corporate 5K run.
Mhm.
And I figured I will give that a try. I didn't know if I can do it. So I tried it. I did pretty decently for the first 5K.
What
Uh,
was it?
it was 28, 29 minutes.
Okay, sub 30 minutes.
Um,
That's good.
I
You've come a
figured
long
that
way since then.
I figured that my year cycling helped me a lot to be better prepared for that run. I don't think I
Yeah.
could have run that fast like a year before cycling, because before starting cycling, like I've been not doing much exercise like for a very long time. So
Okay.
like just walking or like random stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and after I did that run, I said, okay, I think I can try triathlon.
Okay, cool.
So a month after that, I tried swimming for the first time. Um, I figured, hey, I can swim a little bit, and then I prepared for the first triathlon where I met you. And yeah, that's how I go into triathlon.
So which race was that? Was that in the spring at
It was
the
in
first,
July in Key
oh, in
Biscayne.
July. July Key
Yeah.
Biscayne. Okay, the Integrity Multisport Key Biscayne. And you came to the race clinic, is that correct?
Correct. I first saw your webinar on the
Okay.
for the previous race clinic. It was not
Okay.
live.
Yeah.
And then when I did the packet pickup, I figured I go to the live race clinic, and
Right.
yeah, I've been there as well.
Okay, cool. So we decided to work together. How did you do at that triathlon, the very first one?
The first one, like I
Without me. Yeah, you trained on
yeah.
your own for that one, right?
So do you want to know like the time, the place?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
like yeah, so you said you're 43, so that's a pretty competitive age group.
Yeah, I found that it's competitive. So the first one I did way better than I would have expected for that time. I did 1 minute and 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I finished fourth.
Okay.
So I never even
Almost on the
dreamed
podium.
almost on
Almost
the
on,
podium, but that was never on my plans. My plan was always finish the race.
right.
So
And
and
feel
then my
good.
goal was under 1 hour and 30 minutes.
So
But
did
I
you
prepared a lot, so I think I was able to perform well because I did prepare a lot for like 3, 4 months, I would say.
okay, and did you learn anything during that race before coaching?
Yeah, so I learned from the race clinic. One of the most important things that I learned was do the warm up on the like swimming, like do the swimming warm up.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine not doing that moving forward. So I learned that on the from you on the clinic,
That's key.
and then on the race, I learned that I need to have my feet as dry as possible to before running because I got two huge blisters because the I was all full of like water and sand. So
Right.
also the shoes probably didn't help. I use new socks that I haven't tried before, so don't try anything new on race
On
day.
race day, right?
Um,
That you haven't tried
so
in training, even if it's your first
exactly,
race. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So
it
you
was a
you learned some lessons, but you decide why did you decide to hire me?
because I figure okay, this is very interesting. I like training. I love the race. I did pretty good for what I was expecting, and I said if I'm going to continue putting all this effort in training, I would just rather train more efficiently with someone that knows what he's doing. So I did I was going just for long cycling rides, like some running, like swimming randomly on the pool, but nothing structured. So I
No
figure okay,
structure.
it's time to
Yeah,
learn about this.
yeah, no structure whatsoever. So cool. So we met and we did all your evaluations. We did your swim, your bike, your run. You were also on a gravel bike
Oh yeah, that's
for the
true.
next race. You did an August race in the Keys and you were on a gravel bike. But we talked about the benefits and the negatives of that because of the resistance, just the geometry of the bike. You're never going to be as efficient as you could be or as fast as you could be on a real road bike and even faster on a tri bike. But that was something you wanted to do. So we'll get to that when you switch because you did switch. So let's talk about like when you did the evaluations, did you feel like, oh, wow, there is lots of stuff that I can work on? And in the evaluations, we did testing. So we did a swim test, we did a bike test, we did a run test, and we created that baseline. So we knew where you were starting from. So you want to
Yeah.
talk about the swim first?
Yeah, so I have my numbers here. That's why I'm looking here.
Okay.
So for the swim, I started on 1 minute and 56 seconds per 100 yard on a 400-yard test, let's
Okay.
say.
Mhm.
And now I'm at 146.
Okay. So you got 10 seconds faster per 100 for the 400 distance. Okay. So that's a good improvement, right? Did you feel like you got more confident in the open water as well?
Yes, yeah, definitely. I for the first race, I think. I think I never really tried swimming for a long time on the and I knew that I know that you said that that's something that you should not do, go to a race without trying open water.
Ever, yeah. I don't
Uh,
believe anyone should go to a
yeah,
triathlon, an open water ocean triathlon without ever having swam open water before because you don't know how your mind is going to react, right?
yeah,
And
yeah. And
dangerous things can happen.
yeah, so you said that on the clinic. It was the day before the race. I could not get to the to
But
the
you did warm up, so you did get a
But I
little
did warm up. Yeah, I did warm up. So I technically tried swimming on the open water before the race. So I think that helped a lot. Yeah, I will never forget that.
but
Yeah.
when you started the training program, we recommend once a week open water swimming, right? So you were able to do that because you don't live in Miami, right? So you were able to do that. Did you head to the beach on your own a few times, or how did you do that open water swimming?
Yeah, so I think on the first month and a half, I went to Key Biscayne a few times. I'm not that far away. I'm like 45 minutes away from Key Biscayne.
Okay.
So I went a couple times and I did it. And then after the third race that I did, I think I got confident on the open water and I didn't think I needed to continue doing that much. And on the last race, I figured that that was a mistake because it's not just about being confident on open water, but the training is different because
It's endurance.
when I
Endurance.
did go to the test that we did, like the preparation for the race, the long break that we did before the last race,
Mhm.
I figured that I've been not swimming nonstop for a month, and I could feel it on my chest like that the difference. So
Yeah. So,
yeah.
so it's the equivalent of a long run, right? So we have those 3 runs minimum, actually 4 for the run, right? You have your long run, you have your speed work run, you have your tempo run or your transition run off the bike, right? Same thing on the swim. You got to have that long swim. That is what creates the aerobic conditioning base for you to then be able to push fast from, and do your speed work. And then you show up at the race and you have both, right? So That's a good observation because most people don't realize the importance of that long endurance open water swimming. So that's cool that you realize it. Too bad maybe instead of third place, you could have gotten first.
Maybe. The other thing about that is that you don't really know your target pace for the race because it's different. So like
Well,
trying to
yeah,
use yeah.
it was a lake swim, which is different from the ocean, but we can estimate as much as possible. And the cool thing is when we did that training brick, you did swim the 550. Remember, we swam the
Yeah.
500 at race pace. So you kind of had a ballpark figure of what you could have done on race day, and that's how we kind of estimate, right?
And that's when I figured that I should have done more those open water swim long swim because I got like some like soreness on the chest.
On your
Like,
chest.
hey, I haven't been doing this for a month.
Yeah, your fitness wasn't as good as it was previously.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. So that was the difference in your swimming. Let's talk about your bike because you did do well. I mean, you did another triathlon in August and you ended up on the podium, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we'd only been training a month, and I was like, oh, wow, like that's great. But you never know who's going to show up, all that kind of thing. But I feel like you did up level a big, large amount all across the board, your swim, your bike, and your run. So before we get to that race, you were training on on the gravel bike. And how did you, we weren't able to really do a bike test because you don't have a power meter, but we did do intervals on the bike, right? You were able to still work hard and train on the gravel bike. And don't you feel like it made you stronger?
Yeah, definitely. So, like I was saying, like before starting training with you, like what I will do is every day I will wake up and go for a 1 hour ride, all at the same pace, or like not even thinking about intervals or anything, just trying to do it. And then every couple weeks, I will do like a long ride, like 2 hours, 3 hours. I even did like a 6 hour one, but never really looking at like the structured training, the intervals or anything, just writing, which I think helped me a lot as a base.
Typically, yeah, for sure.
But then as soon as we started focusing on intervals and also the mechanics of the pedaling, like which I didn't pay attention to before, I think that really helped a lot. And yes, on my second race, even with the same bike, still the same gravel bike, I was much faster just on the second race. Yes.
So from July to August, 1 month later, just including a few sets of intervals, and learning how to pedal correctly, because we did do a pedaling mechanics test. You were able to go a lot faster, mile per hour wise, for a similar distance. It was like 13 miles, right?
It was the second, no, it was almost 20 miles an hour.
Oh, 20 miles an hour. Wow. But the
Yeah.
distance was 13 miles,
Oh,
right?
sorry. The distance was
For
yes.
Key, it was Key
Yeah.
Largo, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it
Key
was
Largo.
Kildare. So it was oh, yeah, you're right. It was a longer distance and I did
A lot
probably
faster.
1 mile an hour faster.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so then we, of course, started with the run originally, and we did your first 1 mile run test. So, what was your time on that first 1 mile run test?
It was 7:02.
7:02. Okay, cool. And so, of course, you were really adamant. You showed up to track almost every Tuesday.
Yeah, I
And
did.
we really did work on your running technique. Like we worked on your posture, remember? Because you do sit a lot for work. And that can have a drastic effect on how open your hips are. And as a runner, you need to have good open hips so that you don't overuse your hamstrings. And so we were working on, I'd always remind you of your posture, your arm swing, and really focusing on that falling forward. Remember the falling forward, not running, not leaning away from the speed, but actually using gravity to help you fall forward, right? And I really feel like you fell in love with track workouts.
No, I mean I love going to the track for sure. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
miss. I think I didn't miss a single session.
you
Like
did not. You did not miss a single track, even though you had to drive extra to come. But we meet really early in the morning, so it is possible, right? So yeah, so explain like why did you like just seeing your numbers improve so much, or what was it about the track that you loved?
I mean, it was so different from what I was training before, right? So because before I will just hit the street and go to the park, do a
Right.
couple run, like and come back. And even though I read about intervals, I was doing this run fast 1 minute, run slow 1 minute, but I mean, I wasn't really like looking at much of what I was doing. And on the track, I think just the structure of the track, you know, where you start, where you end, like just visualizing the whole
Yeah.
place, having the all the team there, like with their oin
Yeah, you have other people
struggles
you're
and
running with.
learnings.
Yeah,
So yeah, and then of course, I mean, when you get faster, is it's super
motivation.
exciting. But the track itself, I think, helps a lot set the context of the training.
Yeah, it's a container, right? It's a container, and you measure yourself at your baseline. We did the 1 mile test, and then you train and you do repeats at different distances based on the goal race that you were doing sprint triathlons, and maybe we were going to aim for an international. But I want to point out something because what you were doing before is the definition is called exercise. You're moving, your heart rate goes up, you sweat, you might have lost weight, but there's nothing you're measuring, right? You're not measuring your heart rate, you're not measuring a speed, you're not measuring anything. And you can get away with okay performances that way, but if you want to do any kind of improvement in a shorter period of time, you really need to exercise. And what does exercise mean? I mean, excuse me, train.
Right.
You need to train, right? So you need to measure things from your speed, your heart rate, your rate of perceived exertion, power, if you have a power meter on the bike, your swim, your stroke count, your RPMs on the bike. So these are all things that are within our control that we have control over and we can alter based on how hard we're working, right? And then of course it depends on what distance of race that you're training for where we focus. And I like I said, you were with me for 3 months and the improvement was just so high because you went from that aerobic exercise to train really specifically, and you're really into the data, which helps, even though it's kind of simple. Like, if I can do it, like anyone can do it. And you got the results. So what was your last run test?
My last run test was for the 1 mile was 6:22.
So you went from 70 something, what was it?
7:02.
702, so 622. So that's
40
an
seconds.
amazing improvement in 3 months, you guys, 3 months. And the results also showed up in a 10K that you just decided to do this past weekend. You got a PR in your 10K. What was that?
Yeah, so on the 10K, I went from 58 minutes to 52:20 seconds.
That's amazing. In 3 months, you guys, 3 months. So let's talk about Miami Man because the goal that was going to be your last race with us. We kind of knew the training was coming to an end, and I, of course, don't want to see you go, but I was hoping you would have an amazing race, and it actually turned out great. You did upgrade your bike, so talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before I jump into that, two things. Like one is I was not sweating as much as I did on the track ever before. So even if I
Wait.
was
Oh, you mean you started sweating more because of
way
that?
more, yeah. I mean, the exercise was not comparable to what I was doing before, even if I was exercising. So
So
that,
there was like not much intensity, is what you're
I don't
saying.
know, but I got to the point where I needed just to remove my t-shirt just because like, it was all water. Like, and it
Right,
never
right.
happened to me before
So
when I was training on my own. Like,
yeah, so you increase your circulation, you were pushing at a higher intensity, right? And we did also include the strength training to prevent you from getting injured. So that was really key because you push hard. You were pushing really, really hard in these workouts and you never really came up with an injury. You had a little bit of a hip tightness the day
that's
before
the
the
other
race.
thing. Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Like, because I got way faster on the 10K, but when I did that 50-minute 10K, I finished feeling that I was completely broken and I had to recover like for like 2, 3 days. I don't know. And last week when I did the 10K and I finished in 52 minutes, like, I mean, I was tired a little bit, but I could have gone longer, and I have zero pain when on that run, and I did it did not take me much time to recover. It was just like in an hour, I was just fine. Like,
Yeah, your fitness is just way, way higher, right? And we are going to talk about your recovery tools, but let's finish that with that at the end. So let's talk about Miami Man. So run us through the race.
yeah, so Miami Man was an amazing race. I did prepare for that one as my A race. I wanted to give it all there, and that's what I did. You mentioned I have been riding with a gravel bike the first 3 races, and for this one I finally got a road bike. So the bike itself
Wait,
just
what motivated you to do that? Were you tired of working hard and not getting as fast as you could because of the resistance of the tires, right? It's a different geometry bike and it's just a different tire, right, on the bike. So was that your motivation just because you wanted to go faster?
I mean, I did want it to go faster. I mean, I'm competing and training a lot, and then I just lose time because of like a not right bike to ride a triathlon. So I did want to do that. And also moving forward, like as the distance increases, the difference are higher because in Key Largo I was able to be first even with a gravel bike, but
Right.
I don't think that will happen in Miami, man. Like
No.
it was much more competitive. Um, so yeah, and so yeah, the swim was amazing on Miami Man. It was my first race using a swimsuit, a wetsuit, and I felt amazing swimming with a wetsuit. Like it's like cheating, feels like cheating.
It is, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I like it. I did not lose much time on transition because of that. So that was very nice.
And we practice taking it off, right?
Yeah.
We practice taking it off quickly because there's definitely a strategy to that. And we practice swimming in it a couple times too, because you do swim completely different. You're more elevated in the water, so you actually have to reach deeper down with your hands and kick deeper into the water to actually move through the water. So how was your swim pace during the race?
It was 158.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's awesome.
158. And honestly, I feel I was faster than that, but I don't know, maybe because the lake is harder to swim in, like
Well, I
that.
did want to point out, was that on your Garmin the time or was that the race time?
No, that's the Garmin.
Okay. Yeah, because the race included the all the way the run to the transition area before they stopped your swim
Yeah,
time. So just so
yeah.
you know. So that was well still 158 sub 2 minutes per 100. That was great. Okay, how did
But
the
if I
bike
look at
go?
the time, I think I was the fastest on my age group, even though I
Oh,
didn't
nice.
win. So yeah,
That's great.
it was pretty fast. So that's why I was surprised with the pace, but I don't know. You never know with these trackers, like if it's actually measuring
Accurate.
exactly
That's
yeah.
true. Okay, and so how did it feel on your new bike? What kind of bike did you get?
I got a aero road bike.
Okay.
So I mean, okay, let me see the numbers. I did have power, so my power average power was 196.
Okay, awesome.
Which it was around what we were targeting. I think I was targeting like 200.
Right.
So and the course was a little bit complicated with some cars and things like that. So I was lucky because I didn't get too much of that, but I still had to kind of like pass a few
Maneuver.
cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And so
uh,
how did you enjoy like having that power number in front of you versus just relying on like heart rate and RPMs and how you're feeling?
I didn't even have RPMs before. So
Wow.
yeah, so yeah, and I was not looking at the heart rate. So before I was just doing whatever I could on the bike.
Yeah.
But now
But
with the power is much better because you just have you have a target. You know if you need to
yeah.
push a little bit more or if you're pushing more than you should.
Yeah.
So having power is amazing on the bike. Yeah.
It is. It is a very
And
amazing
cadence.
tool.
And
What?
cadence.
And
And
cadence. Yeah.
cadence. My cadence
Yeah.
was 82.
Perfect. Yeah. So, having power, it's real time numbers. You're not guessing like your heart rate is a little bit delayed on the bike. So if you push hard on the bike, you could actually blow up and then your heart rate doesn't really catch up. And then it's like too late. You've already burned too many matches. So you're not going to be able to keep riding that fast. And so the power is real time. So it's like the exact number that you're trying to hold. You can look at it and hold it, right? And especially same with everything else, doing that power test gives you your training zones, and each zone is based on the distance of the race, right? So it's going to completely change your bike training. So that's awesome.
And then just to compare with Key Largo, which was similar distance and similar course and also open road,
Uh-huh.
if I look at the speed, I was almost 2 miles per hour faster than in Key Largo.
And
That
that's a
was a
that's
new
a
one.
road bike. Now, can you
Yeah.
imagine if you're on a tri bike?
I get there.
Yes, tri bike is the way to go. You got to get one.
I
But
get
that's
there.
awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so then you hopped off the bike. How was your transition?
Transitions, you said I was good with transitions, but I felt that I was not that good on the transition because when I got off the bike, my hamstrings were like a little bit, I don't know, like they were saying, hey, we're here,
Right.
be
Yeah.
careful. So I decided to walk T2 instead of like running
Right.
T2. And I probably lost 30 seconds there that cost me second place.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because you
But
got
I
third like
always
by 10 seconds or something like that,
by
right?
20 seconds, yeah. So I think I could have, but what I always say also when I'm telling this thing to friends is, yes, maybe if I would have run on T2, maybe I would have ended like seventh because I don't know what
The
would have
cramp.
happened, right? So I have those 30 seconds of recovery that probably helped me push really hard on the run.
Well, I'm going to talk to you about why that is. It's just that you didn't have a lot of time on your new bike, which had a different geometry than your gravel bike. And so this is a common thing because you are in a different position. So the angle that your muscles are firing is
Yeah,
different. And
that's
that's
true.
what
Yeah.
causes the cramping. I don't know if you watched Christian Blumenfeld in one of the world championships like 2 or 3 years ago. He was training for the Olympics on his road bike and this race was a triathlon, so he rode his tri bike and he cramped like 5 times during the
Oh,
run just because he had not been training on his tri bike as much, right? So this is what can happen. So I'm happy that you took the time. You didn't know you're going to miss by second place by 10 seconds or whatever, but you probably could have stretched it out a little bit, right? But if you had more time on your new bike, that probably won't happen.
okay, makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so you started on the run, and the run was a little tricky because it was gravelly and rooty and rocky and stuff like that. So how did you feel on the run?
On the run, I felt amazing as well. I mean, in this race, I felt amazing on the three
You were
things.
ready. You were ready,
Yeah.
man. And you tapered,
So
right? You tapered and recovered. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so how did you finish? You crossed the finish line, you sprinted. Did you sprint to the across the finish line?
yeah, hell yeah. I was shouting like the last 2 kilometers.
I saw
Oh
you.
my
Yeah,
God,
you're like
my
grunting.
my quads were like on
On
fire,
fire.
and I was not going to stop because if I stop, I know I cannot start again. So I finished very strong, and I did my pace was 8 minutes per mile.
Okay, cool. So you did
So
8-minute miles for the 5K.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
and that's my best run pace on all the races that I did. So
Excellent.
and it was more difficult because of the gravel and all that stuff. So
Right.
yeah, very happy with that as well. Yeah.
And then the best news was you ended up on the podium at the state championships, right?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was third. But then I figured, oh, 20 seconds from second. I could have done that. And then 1 minute from first. That was
Ah,
tricky, but yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But so also something to consider is you don't know how much someone else trained, so you always really want to compare yourself to yourself, but it's
Yeah.
always an extra bonus when you get on the podium. And then when you see how close you are to first, it really makes you push harder in the next race because you know that's a possibility, right?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that little carrot is out there that you could possibly get one rung higher. So congratulations, first of all. I feel like it has been an amazing 3 months, and top it off with a third place at the race is awesome. But I did want to tell everybody about the fact that you really embraced a recovery tool that I highly recommend. First of all, the stretching. You never really had stretched before. We did a lot of stretching after track and all that good stuff. Foam rolling, which is also a huge part of my program, especially for posture. But what was the one thing that you love to do?
Foam rolling, actually. I didn't do that before.
Okay. But what about
Uh,
the cold thing?
and yeah, okay, yes, sauna and cold plunge were like two things that helped me a lot. There was one race that even one day before the race, on the third race on Key Biscayne, my calf were like completely sore and I couldn't even run.
Yeah.
After a session of like sauna and cold plunge, I was perfect for next day race. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
These are all tools, right? Tools in your tool chest that you can pull from now that you know, right, what works for you. And you practice with them so much in training that you were able to implement them at the right times to allow yourself to have the best result on race day. So yeah, congratulations, Roberto. So
Thank you.
what's next for you? I heard you got. Oh, I heard you got an entry into a very special race. Are you going to do it?
Yeah. So I signed up for Escape from Alcatraz triathlon.
Yay!
Um, so we'll see how that goes. I actually like today I started training some like running on hills on the bridge just
Yeah,
because I never really did that. So there are a lot of new things for Escape from Alcatraz. So we'll
yeah.
see how that goes. But there's plenty of time. Now I'm planning to take it a little bit easier through the holidays, and then next year I'll start preparing for Escape
So
from Alcatraz.
you accepted the registration?
Yeah, I signed up. Yeah.
Awesome. Yay. Okay, well
I,
that's like an iconic race. So it's really not about getting your best time. It's about participating and experiencing the event because it is so challenging. I mean, the water temperature is really, really cold. It can be very fast. And then the hills on the bike and then the sand run and the hills on the run are also all very challenging. So congratulations on getting that slot because it is a coveted slot. And I also recommend just using a road bike because a tri bike in that race won't matter so much because you won't be in aero bars hardly at all.
I saw saw that race and I figured why I got the robot. It was
Yeah,
meant to be.
it was meant to be. It was meant to be. Awesome. Well, I know everybody enjoyed helping you train and you're a big part of the group. So do you have anything else to say or anything else to share?
Um, yeah, I mean, I enjoy training with you on the team a lot. I learn a lot. I feel like I said, not just getting faster, but doing it in a way that I don't feel I'm getting injured, even though that can happen anyways. But I think the best way to prevent that from happening or to mitigate that risk is to actually have proper training. So I think that helped a lot.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
progressed you. We didn't throw you into the fastest speed at the beginning. We built you up over the last 3 months. But it's a lifelong journey. I mean, you're gonna forever, if you take the approach that you've taken already, you can always keep getting faster, always keep getting faster, right? But you have to be careful and not overreach too much, right? That's it's gonna, I mean, I hate to say it, but as a 29-year triathlete, I mean, there's times when you go too far, right? You cross that line, but now you know how to recover, right? And hopefully you don't go too far that you get
yeah,
injured, right? So be careful. But it was a pleasure coaching you, and I'm super excited. And good luck on your journey. And I hope we get to train together, maybe in the new year. All right.
awesome.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
Roberto.
you.
Have a great day. Bye, you
See
guys. Hope
you.
that was enjoyable.